So today we'll be taking a look at some stories about what happened with Bobby Lashley and CM Punk, as well as Seth Rollins' comment on Becky Lynch. For today's question of the day, would you like to see Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have another run-in together on screen? So let's get started off with this story involving Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. It was just a handful of years ago when the rumors of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins' relationship first started to surface. They were seen in public together, lots of pictures together, and everyone was just running with the narrative that they were dating and were keeping their relationship away from the public eye. But a few months later, Seth and Becky ended up confirming their relationship. WWE would then seize the opportunity to capitalize on their relationship and bring it on screen to really establish them as WWE's new power couple. There's been a lot of WWE power couples over the years. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon have always been one of WWE's biggest real-life couples. Then you had The Miz and Maurice, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, then of course John Cena and Nikki Bella. So when Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch revealed their relationship, it looked like WWE had plans to pair them up on screen together, and that's exactly what happened. WWE really put their latest power couple on full display in mid-2019, where Universal Champion Seth Rollins and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch were paired up for a feud with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. After some back-and-forth attacks between the four of them, it eventually led to a mixed tag team match that saw Seth and Becky team up for the first time ever to defeat Corbin and Lacey Evans. WWE even kept them as a team for a little longer, and they also had a short storyline with Maria and Mike Kanellis as well. Becky and Seth's on-screen characters would go their separate ways a few months later, but remained on the same brand. Fast forward to current day, everyone is waiting for Becky Lynch's huge return, and it's no doubt the most highly anticipated return that's hanging around WWE right now. The fans know it's coming soon, but no one really seems to know when or where she will return. Part of the hype about a superstar's return is the fans discussing the return and possible return stories for said superstar. Well, when it comes to Becky Lynch's return, there's some fans out there that would like to see a heel Becky Lynch stand side by side with a heel Seth Rollins. Well, Seth Rollins was recently asked a similar question while speaking with sports media, and he had this to say about working on screen with his wife Becky Lynch. "We tried to make the best at it, but I don't think either of us were terribly comfortable with it. Even though we have incredible chemistry as people, as performers, our characters never really vibed on screen. It was one of those things where, if she comes back, we'll stay away from it and won't touch on it. If something calls for it and we're in the same segment or story, you can't pretend like it doesn't exist. It's not possible. We're too high profile for that. But if we're in two separate places, then no one thinks about it now." So Seth made a reveal there and brought up a great point. He said that they weren't exactly comfortable with the on-screen relationship because even though they were together in real life, their WWE characters themselves never really interacted with each other in the past. So it sounds like that was the most challenging part for the both of them. You have to stay true to your WWE character, but now you also have your relationship on full display. So maybe that's why the both of them weren't completely comfortable with the story. So maybe that really was the truth. It even became a joke online amongst the community because WWE was really hammering their relationship to the audience. They would call Seth Rollins Becky Lynch's boyfriend and would call Becky Lynch Seth Rollins' girlfriend every week, all night long on Raw. But eventually, towards the end of 2019 and early 2020, they did split them up again and let them do their own thing. Seth turned heel and entered the Messiah character while Becky Lynch continued her 400-day reign. But telling by Seth Rollins' comments here, it sounds like Seth and Becky would choose to stay apart on screen if given the choice. And that's respectable too. Just keep them apart so they can both do their own thing and focus on their own individual stories. Nothing wrong with that. As far as Becky Lynch's return goes, updates are still hard to come by. There hasn't been much information besides the reports that Becky Lynch may be more towards the end of the year. There was also news that Becky Lynch is using Seth Rollins' wrestling school as one of her main places to train and work out, but nothing else has really been reported besides that. So when it comes to Becky Lynch's return, maybe we could expect it to something similar to Roman's return last year, where it just came out of nowhere and no one saw it coming. Hopefully it's not spoiled by reporters or announced by WWE in advance. Hopefully it's one of those on-the-spot shock returns. So that will be great to look forward to, but for fans hoping to see more of Seth and Becky on screen together, doesn't sound like that's going to be happening anytime soon, unfortunately. Bobby Lashley has been in the news a lot lately for a lot of his new interviews. During his appearance on Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions podcast, Bobby Lashley revealed that there was some massive backstage heat on him because of a title situation with CM Punk, and he had no idea what was going on. Lashley had this to say about that situation. "I was so clueless to wrestling. I never looked at the dirt sheets, anything. I didn't know anything. I'm out there just living in the moment. So when I got put into this, later on I realized how much hate, how much stuff was going on. I never knew." This is like years afterwards I started reading this stuff, and it was like Heyman made a comment on it. Somebody else did, and I was like, wow, I didn't know all of this stuff was going on in the background. I thought it was just me going out there and having fun. A lot of things in wrestling business, I was just clueless to it. I think I read that I was not supposed to win it. They wanted Punk to get the push at this time. I don't know what it was. It was chaos that day. There was a lot going on. The night that Bobby Lashley was referring to was December 3rd, 2006, with ECW's December to Dismember event. It was an Elimination Chamber match that saw Bobby Lashley walk out as ECW champion. Like Lashley alluded to, he was still innocent and fairly new to WWE. He was unaware of dirt sheet reports, backstage conflicts, and all the other things related to pro wrestling. So it seems like there's some serious backstage issues going on with people who believe that CM Punk should have won that title that night. So Lashley winning it made some superstars and other backstage individuals look at Lashley differently because they really felt like it was Punk's spot and time to shine. Bobby Lashley had a lot to say about that backstage morale after the recent WWE releases. He had this to say when speaking with TV Insider. "I think the feeling is good. We get tested with so many things. Everyone will say, this is it. This is the downfall of WWE. It's never going to be. We have so much talent in WWE. WWE is never going to be beaten or contested. It's always going to be the flagship of professional wrestling. That's never going to change." Lashley also spoke with Sportskeeda and gave his thoughts on released superstars who instantly trash talk WWE once they're out. He had this to say to them. "Stay motivated. There was a couple guys who contacted me that were in WWE when I was out, and they asked, 'What's going on, man? Do you have any advice for me?' I always told them, if you're good, your talent can't be denied. That's one. And two, never burn bridges." I think a lot of times people will leave the wrestling business or leave one organization and feel the need to badmouth them. I think that's just ridiculous. I think every one of us made our name from the WWE or in professional wrestling in one sense or another and made a lot of money. Lashley has been there before. He's been released from WWE and eventually worked his way back to the company. So he's providing some hope there for recently released superstars. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.